How are you, football fans? Tomorrow, you can stream Arsenal v Man United and Chelsea v Wolves. That's two unmissable fixtures for a one-off payment of just €10. To grab a Now TV Sky Sports Day Pass and only pay for the games that matter to you, search Now TV today. Content streamed via internet, full terms at nowtv.com.
Blog Talk Radio.
1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. This is Shantae, and I'm on my show. Let's talk with Shantae. Back to the beat, back to the beat. On the mic, I take it to the top. Let's talk with Shantae. Let's talk with Shantae. Let's go. I first started this show in December 2010. This is my show, and this is how it goes. All day, every day, it's Shantae. Let's talk with Shantae. Let's talk with Shantae. Let's talk with Shantae. Yes, see, we just talk about everything that needs to be talked about, so you could be aware. Let's talk with Shantae. Let's talk with Shantae. See, we're talking about things in the community, things in society, things that affect you and me, things that really need to be spoken about, so we can create one thing, and that is unity. Let's talk with Shantae. Let's talk with Shantae. Hey everyone, it's your girl Shantae Sexy right here on Let's Talk with Shantae.
Tuning in to Let's Talk with Shantae. It is Tuesday, August 14th, 2018. Woo! How's everyone doing out there? You know, we always got to make sure everyone's living up to their best ability and make sure we got that mute button off, okay? I want to thank you all for tuning in to Blog Talk Radio, Tune In Radio, iTunes Radio. If you're tuned in to any of those plug outlets, if you just happen to be listening live, if you just gangster like that, I thank you so much for taking the time out to listen and check out the show. So Weather the Storm is what the show is about. I wanted to talk about global climate change. I wanted to talk about local weather. I wanted to talk about national weather, like weather all around the world. And the reason is because it's hot. Now, I'm right at the moment of this recording in Charlotte, North Carolina, and at the time of this call, this show call, it's 104 degrees Fahrenheit, okay, 104 degrees. I gather that this is pretty typical weather for the South. I was born and raised in the northern parts of North America, and the summertime usually can reach 70, 80 easily. But once it reaches 85 and up, it starts to get categorized as a heat wave, and especially if the heat comes in consecutive days of high temperatures or humid air quality. So there's a website that you can actually go to that measures the air quality in your area. So if you're someone who may have asthmatic breathing complications, or a person who, just in general, like you just can't be in the hot weather, that's another way to help measure the climate if you wanted to. So climate control, a lot of people had this thing against Donald Trump, the current president, 45th president of the United States, Donald Trump, about how senior, is one of his sons named after him? I'm not sure. I just know he has sons. I know he has at least 3 sons. How many kids does Donald Trump have? Anybody know out there? I don't know. But anyway, what I was trying to say is that for the most part, there was this big argument at one point because Donald Trump, he denounced that there even existed anything, regarding climate control or, the climate change. A lot of people, a lot of conspiracy theorists say that the government conspires to put chemicals in the air using, yes, you know, they call them the paper trails. They call it the skyscrapers. They say that chemicals are being put in the air to deplete the ozone layer deliberately. Those are what conspiracy theorists say. Over time, I remember being a kid in school, like elementary, middle school age, high school age. I remember hearing a lot about climate control, air pollution. They would say by the 2000s, by the year 2000 on forward, that there would be a great decline in the air quality. It's actually shown to be proven. Part of the reason is because lots of people drive cars. There's lots of different devices that send off emissions into the air, not even just cars, but motorcycles, trucks, vans, other types of things like people do fireworks. That stuff all gets in the air. Even lighting a fire, lighting a cigarette or whatever, like all of that stuff gets into the air. So it has to get broken down. And another thing that I've seen over the years were trees being uprooted and then replanted with man-grown trees, like trees that people that grown their own selves. So I think there's a whole lot of reason why that would be true. I was actually watching this video one time about the weather and how the concern of a rip tide, like a real big, huge tide to come up the whole East Coast. Yeah. And, you know, like I remember when I was in, like, elementary school, there was this movie out about earthquakes, and it was called The Big One. And I don't know if I could ever find it. I mean, I've looked for it. I cannot find it, but it was like a one-time shot deal, and they just showed it, and they never seen it again. But I saw this video on YouTube about, like, a huge tidal wave, and it allegedly was supposed to happen is, what does this have to do with the weather? Because I'm going to tell you in a second. Shout out to everyone driving. I hear you. I hear you loud and clear. Yeah. So, you have to go check it out. I'm not going to be a spoiler, but look it up. It's a video predominantly about, it's really based upon the history of climate control and some of the things they believe will occur. I'm not gonna be a spoiler because I'm good at that. I'm good at just telling out all the details on it. Go ahead out there and look it up for yourself. That was pointed you in the direction. You know, you to follow through. But anywho, the weather is always a big deal in America, especially. I used to always wonder, like, if the world receives one weather at the same time. Like, if it was raining, did the whole world receive rain? And, you know, if it was sunny, did the whole world receive sun? We've come to learn in time that things happen miraculously. So you can literally be on one side of the street and it'll be sunny and dry as if no rain existed, and look across the road and see rain that is like falling, or at minimum falling, but a lot of times it's a downpour of rain. So what we've come to see is that clouds are now just dropping rain whenever it wants to, dropping snowstorms whenever it wants to, so it seems. So it's really interesting, someone like myself, because I recall hearing those things being talked about growing up. Who knows what the children are learning now in school about climate control, air pollution, and I remember learning about recycling before it became law in most states. I remember visiting a recycling plant. They took us to a recycling plant, and we got to see firsthand bottles and aluminum and things, the process they had to go through, the cleaning process and the burning process. It was interesting, and now in a lot of places it is a law. You know, it's unlawful if you don't recycle. You know, and if you get caught, you get high fines and tickets and stuff. So be careful out there. So, you know, especially if you like to drop stuff on the ground and stuff, like, and it's not working the ticket. Not that I've gotten one, but in. So, yeah, we talk about the weather a lot because the weather is something that we face every day. Every day you have to face weather, whether it's sunny weather, dry weather, warm weather. In the summertime, that's the general area. And in Eastern Asia, it's primarily dry. So I would imagine that it feels like Africa to the Eastern people, that they are in that heat, that dry heat. Dry heat does not sound fun at all. But in America, especially in the cities, we get a lot of humidity. That's what I've learned. It gets really humid when you get to a certain point. It gets hot and then it just gets muggy hot. And it's kind of unexplainable at that point. It's part of the way that the day goes. So, what kind of heat do you feel during the weather storms? You know, have you ever seen a tornado? Have you ever seen a real lightning storm where it's just pretty much all lightning? You don't hear any thunder, but predominantly lightning, and you're just watching it in the clouds. Have you ever seen like a monsoon rainstorm where the rains come down in sheets where you can barely even see through? Many people have seen that type of rain. I can promise you that. Yeah, I'm almost positive that everyone's at least a bully. So, getting into content. You have to keep in mind, you have to remember that you have pets. Don't want them to die. Make sure that they have the proper fresh hydration. You know, if you start noticing that your pets won't drink water, it's because that water is not pure enough for them to drink. Even as animals, have a natural instinct what is and what isn't good for them. You know? Really hard to fool an animal to eat or drink something that they shouldn't be consuming. Unlike human beings, we just consume there. We don't really quite have a lot of intuitive senses to let us know. Like now I'm eating my pretzel stick. By looking at it, it doesn't look like I should not eat it. It actually looks very inviting. And when I put it on my tongue, the salt, it just runs. I like it personally. It makes me salivate. And meanwhile, I just punch it up. Turn it into a little, I don't know. Whatever. Whatever food turns into once you start chewing it up. Anyway. So yeah, I really like the summer heat. I think that summer heat brings forth a lot of summer outings. If you like to be outdoors, it's really fun. I just think that, like, if you go to, like, a grocery store or a shopping mall, you know, places like that, I just think certain places need to have, like, a really, really big shade over their parking lots because, you know, if you're driving somewhere, really driving somewhere. If you're driving somewhere, no lie, you could be driving somewhere and one part of your arm is going to get exposed to the sun, or your one side of your body is going to be totally exposed to the sun, and, like, my left arm is, like, cooked. It's cooked from the sun. Like, I'm matched it up to my other arm on the right, and I definitely clearly see two different tones of brown, 4 different tones of brown, because when I flip my arms over, my inner arms are really light compared to how much sun my top of the arms have been exposed to. So, you know, that's never fun. But we have to all pray on different ways. So with this weather, you have to take precautions, not just, you know, the food and beverages you consume, but also your attire. You know, you want to make sure and the way that you travel. I've seen people pull up the umbrellas to give themselves shade when they move through the sun. Workers wear hats with visors and things of that nature. So, just gotta. This is your girl, Shantae Sexy on Let's Talk with Shantae. Thanks so much for tuning in. We just gave you a quick, brief recap of how Let's Talk with Shantae goes. Thanks for tuning in. Weather the storm. Have a great way. Be blessed. What? Yes, I am.